So with this image, I wanted to get a photo of this pack of dogs I found in town. Of course, you can't see all of them. There was no way to get all of the dogs into one shot, like all in frame at the same time. They would always be moving around and milling about, and you can see there's even a dog behind this gate here who's giving them some attention. I wanted to take a photo of this because this was unusual. It looks like some Tesla charging stations I found um, sort of in a gas station. These were inaccessible. I don't know if they were not ready yet or if they had gone out of service or what, but I found this to be an interesting sight. This is, I still don't quite know what to make of this. This is like the soap in a bathroom was just this plate of powder. Like I'm not quite sure how to use it. I guess I'm just supposed to put my hand in the powder and then get it wet or something and use that as my soap. Um, so this I found a nice place to eat, and there was this nice little birdie sort of walking around. I'm not sure if that's like a turkey or what, but yeah, they just had birds walking around everywhere. This was just like a nice little stand by the side of the road that I had stopped at. Oh, this was a very nice place. This is called Hotel Mayabel, which I stopped in to use their dump stations. It was a very cool place to stop, and I wanted to get this photo to sort of see that you got the sort of jungle outside, but then you got this nice little hut, to be inside, and they're sort of right next to each other. Um, and I made it to Ocosingo, so I wanted to get this photo so you could sort of see, um, what 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 the town signs look like. They're all very, multicolored and stuff. Ocosingo is a town um, in the mountains, very difficult to access. You had to go on long, windy mountain roads rather than nice major highways. Um, so I wanted to make sure I documented this a bit. Here I can see uh, this long downhill road and the mountains and hills in the distance. And at this point, I believe I had left Ocosingo and gone to Altamirano, where there was a blockade, which was possibly Zapatistas. I just wanted to get this nice photo of this lone tree kind of sticking up. And here is the nice sort of town square, this nice little park in Altamirano. Lots of towns have these cute little parks. So I just wanted to take a photo of what they look like. I don't remember what this was called. This was some kind of pre-Hispanic dish starting with a TL, like tla, la, blah, blah, whatever, that I got in a restaurant in town. Here is a photo of the line of vehicles leading up to the blockade. These are all stopped. There are personal passenger vehicles and plenty of, business cargo trucks and stuff. Everybody's stopped at the blockade. I ended up having to wait there for about 22 hours before I got them to let me through just so I could turn my trailer around. And this is a nice bathroom. Um, the only public bathroom I could find in Altamirano. And at night, this is the park again. I wanted to show what it looked like at night. I don't know why they paint these trees like this. It's a sort of a curiosity, but I thought they looked really cool, lit up from behind. This was a real cool restaurant. I don't remember what it was called, but it's a restaurant in Altamirano, and I wanted to get this photo because it's like this sort of 3D chess, sort of Star Trek looking thing that they use to hold their condiments. Um, I don't remember what this dish was called, but it's like these stuffed tortillas. you've got a tortilla stuffed with beans, so it's like a gordita or something, and then they take two of those and make a sandwich out of it. And also this nice pink drink. Like, everything on their menu is cool. I overate at this place, as I do at many restaurants where they've just got a lot of cool looking stuff on their menu. This was an interesting sign. Nunca compres donde hay topes. Sort of graffiti. I mean, this isn't this is on the back of a sign, but somebody had sort of graffitied it because topes are everywhere in Mexico. There's these speed bumps on the highways. They make life really difficult and damage people's vehicles. But this is the first time I've seen an indication that topes are a sort of oppressive force, and that, activists, people like Zapatistas, might be fighting against that. From my perspective, sure, topes keep people safe, but I can understand, how they are definitely a problem. This is just a nice landscape pic. I wanted to take pictures, because I was up in the mountains and the jungles of Chiapas, and everything's beautiful. And I saw so many landscapes that I wanted to take a picture of. At this point, I believe I was stopped at another blockade, just trying to get to Guatemala. And I had gotten out of my vehicle and was walking around a bit. Here's another view of the same place. So this is an interesting story. As always, it's difficult to take photos of slopes that show just how steep downhill it is. But what I've been doing here is I was trying to move rocks, like large rocks, out of the way so that I could make room for my vehicle to turn around here. And I was moving rocks up to the edge of the slope, but one of them I sort of flipped over and it rolled down the hill and just tore one of these fence posts in half, and then went plop into this pit where water was running, and it was just like splash. And there were people around kind of watching this occur, and I was like, oh gosh. But eventually they did just let me through, but then there was another blockade, and I was sort of trapped in between two blockades, and the only way out was to go on this long, very bad country dirt road to a place called Tenango. And so this is a photo of Tenango. I had to go so slow. It's just like 5 kilometers an hour for like multiple hours. Finally got to Tenango. This is the town square. At night there were kids playing, throwing balls around. And the ball came towards me, and one of the kids shouted, "Gringo!" Like they wanted me to catch the ball. But yeah, this is a nice sort of view of this tiny town up in deep rural Chiapas. As small as it was, it did have this covered stadium, like with bleachers and stuff. There seemed to be some basketball hoops, and there are, little baby chickens kind of wandering around town. I don't usually like to do this since this is just somebody's personal animal, but I wanted to show you how cool this was. The people were using donkeys to carry these bags around town. Like, the town was full of these sort of laboring donkeys. And looking up the hill, like the whole town was like on this steep hill. At the top, there's this temple. I suspect it might have been a Mormon temple because people had told me there were Mormons in town. Templo Belentenango. I don't know, some kind of temple. My finger's in the way of the lens, it looks like. And here's sort of a view from the top. You can see the town below and all the landscape in the distance. Here's a nice little waterway running through town. Here's some more little chicks, kind of milling about. And finally, I left Tenango, heading towards civilization, I guess, bigger cities. And I wanted to take a photo of the landscape as I was passing through. This was just, the photo doesn't do it justice, of course, but it's like this beautiful valley. Here, this was like my worst nightmare. I hadn't noticed a ditch that I was driving across, but my trailer wheel just went right into it. And you can see like this, how sharp this angle is, the difference between how much my trailer is leaning versus how much the truck is leaning. And here's a ditch. It doesn't, how deep it is doesn't really come across in the photo very much, but it's like, oh my gosh, this looks so terrible. Fortunately, I was able to get out of this ditch without any damage. Um, and walking around outside, I picked up a lot of these jungle seeds. They just clung to my shirt here. And here I wanted to take more photos of Chiapas and a nice panorama. I climbed up this hill and wanted to take a photo of the landscape looking in all directions here. And this is a milpa, a nice cornfield along the hillside. So this wasn't total wilderness. There were like farmers out here, as remote as it was. People lived here and farmed here in these hills and mountains. And I took photos of some of these flowers I found out there. Nice purple one, some nice red ones. You can see the one in the back seems to be focused more. Here's another red one. Nice little white ones, more purple ones, and these yellow ones were everywhere. But I found I wanted to get a close up of this, but this photo doesn't show you just like how many of them there were. There were quite a lot of these. And here, I wanted to take a photo of this sort of rocky hillside, with dirt and stuff. I think some kind of, I don't know, construction or some kind of digging project was going on here. And I was driving by. Here's this sort of dirt cliff, but I can see this town below, almost looking like I'm getting back into civilization. And this is a terrible story because I reached the top of this slope. You cannot tell how steep it is. Just I tried to get a photo that sort of shows you the steepness. But I reached the top of this slope and I was looking down it. And I'm like, I really have to drive that. This is impossible. This is going to destroy my trailer. I didn't know if I could get past it without damage, but I tried like driving like 1 kilometer per hour, like as slow as I possibly could down this thing to be super careful. And my trailer did get damaged. This is my stabilizing jack in the rear. Got really bent out of shape because I reached the bottom of the slope, and as it was too sharp, like as my truck and my trailer got level, the back of the trailer, hit the slope, and there was nothing I could do. There was no way to traverse this terrain without damage. It was terrible. And here is a nice little stream that I was driving across. Some more waterways. Always like to take photos of the beautiful, beautiful waterways. I finally reached the campground in San Cristobal de las Casas. And there was a nice papu who, like the other dogs, wanted to take shelter under my trailer. And you can also see in this shot my absolutely wrecked, my poor step. That's the step that goes under my door. It got really damaged on the way here. But I was finally at a trailer park. I could rest for a while and get repairs. And here is a shot of some nice clouds as I was looking straight up. just a really pretty sight. And that is the end of this album.